Morph and Ivy Collective begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming today. I'm Ashley with Catalina Morph Mixer, and the co-host over here is.
I'm Becky. I'm with Onyx and Ivy.
Do you want to introduce our guest tonight and tell them a little bit
I
about?
do. So I'm super pumped for our guest. We have Mark with Plants Without Borders. So he is actually a tissue culture importer. So we'll let him kind of talk about what that is and all that cool stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and add Mark. Hello,
Mark.
hello.
Hey, how's
Thanks
it
for
going,
coming.
everybody?
Good.
Can you hear
Thank
me?
you so much for coming. Yeah, I
Yes.
can hear you. Yeah, all good.
Cool.
Awesome.
So do you want to go ahead and maybe introduce yourself a little bit and explain Plants Without Borders?
Sure. Hey, everybody. My name is Mark. I'm the founder of Plants Without Borders, and we're a wholesale importer and distributor of rare plants and tissue culture. And we serve small businesses all over the United States. So we have a network of laboratories in China that we've vetted and onboarded, and we've aggregated all their inventory so it's easily accessible, almost like ordering McDonald's from DoorDash.
Nice.
That's awesome. Now, for a lot of us who might not know what tissue culture is, do you want to give like a brief
Me.
overview of that?
Like, I'm a child. Just speak to me like a toddler.
Hey, tissue culture is how houseplants are made, right? It's basically like, um, well, the reason that tissue culture exists is because houseplants, you want to have the same genetics each time, and if you use the seeds, it would cause genetic variation. The plants would look differently. So what you want to do is you want to basically do propagation. It would make clones of one plant and make multiple plants out of that single plant. But what the houseplant industry does is they basically clone plants to make more of them. And it's this actually the same process as getting a cutting and planting it into the ground and then creates another plant. It's literally the same thing, but just take a smaller piece of the plant and then put it in a petri dish, basically, and make multiple copies of it that way.
Okay, it's like I've seen a lot of it where they're in bags. Do you guys keep them in there for a long time, or is that something once they're going out for shipping?
Yeah,
Um,
it's a
yeah.
great question. So how it works is they get a small piece of the plant, and then it needs to be super clean in order for it to clone successfully in a laboratory. And what they do is they keep multiplying the plants. So uh, while it's in that multiplication process, they store it in a jar that's super sterile, like literally like no germs, like no bacteria, and that's um, the way they propagate it. Now, when it's time to ship it out, that's when they put it into the bags. You take it from the clean jar that has no organisms or anything like that, super clean. Then once they transfer it into the real world, put it into a bag. Um, that's what you're seeing.
Okay. So what does it take to like? I know with Becky and her talking about like, oh, I've got to clean the roots and all. I'm like, why do you have to clean roots? Like, like in my mind, I think
What
about
does
like in the
that
wild, like
mean?
why do you clean the roots? Like, what is? Yeah, I need more explanation on all this.
Yeah, so basically you're transitioning the plant you're basically just moving it from one media to another. So while it's in its very infant stages, the media that it grows in is the gel that you see. And once you transition it to soil or whatever medium you're transitioning it to, you need to remove the previous medium and get it ready for the new one. So basically, out with the old, into the new.
Is there like a specific way that like pretty much everyone in the plant community uses to clean them, or does like everybody kind of have like their own little specialty of how they do it?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So it's kind of all over the board. It's almost uh, like going to the gym. Like everybody has their own kind of approach to it. Before there was a lot of like authoritative knowledge on how to like what's the perfect form, etc. Everyone kind of just has their own rules of thumb. So that's the current state of tissue culture and uh, the kind of state of the knowledge of how to do tissue culture. But the reality is that growers, up until um, like 2 years ago, they were the only consumers of tissue culture. Like all the plants you see in Home Depot, Lowe's, they're either grown bare root or grown from a tissue culture. So you're already actually consuming the product that tissue culture uh, creates, right? And
Yeah.
one of the really funny things that I would wanted to talk about on this podcast is because tissue culture is already standard. It's the gold standard for terrariums and for aquariums. It's already like if you go to PetSmart right now, there's already tissue cultures in bags there. Like this is not anything new. What's new is that it's almost been like a well-kept secret. But the reality is there wasn't a huge incentive for anybody to go through the effort of getting these plants in tissue culture from other countries, bringing them in, and then growing them themselves. Like up to this point, it's been all commercial growers, like liner producers, basically the companies that get the tissue culture, put it into this 72 cell trays, and then sell that to growers. Like that's a whole segment of supply chain that, you know, what people are doing now. It's like almost the alternative way to get the rare plants because that's why you don't see the rare plants in big box stores. It's just too long of a process.
We do have
Yeah,
a
I think
question
it's-
from Big Ten Exotics. Just at what stage would you suggest adding plants into a bioactive system, pup or fully established?
Well, I can speak about the plants that we supply. They're stage 3 tissue culture, and that's when they're ready to be put into like a natural environment. We do have acclimation glide on our website, and the thing about the tissue culture is that each plant has its own specific protocols. So that's one of the challenges of giving people advice is that everyone has their own unique environment. You know, every single plant has its own idiosyncrasies. But one of the things that we're going to be doing with our platform is creating a hub for those types of questions to be answered from a, just an academic perspective. There's been a lot of research in this area, so we're going to create a lot of how-to guides on how to do pretty much anything that you would want to do with tissue culture.
Cool.
Nice, that's
I have a question. So what inspired you to start Plants Without Borders? Like how did you get first? Okay, it's a two-part question. How did you get into plants to begin with, and then how did that transition into this?
Yeah, great question. So a bit about me. I grew up here in California, right here in the Bay Area in San Jose, but I was born in like Orange County area. I went to UC San Diego, studied economics. That's where I first got interested in the whole like concept of just trading, like online, like global international business, basically. And I moved up to Silicon Valley after graduating. Worked at a couple of different startups and AI, payments, and even cryptocurrency. And that's actually probably my most relevant experience to the plant market is because when I worked in cryptocurrency, it was a lot of the same thing of, hey, there's just hot new plant, it's hot new coin, basically. There's a lot of hype around it, and price goes up, and eventually it comes down, and that's kind of what makes rare plants interesting. So around 2021, basically one of my relatives in the Philippines showed me how much they were getting paid to produce pineapples by selling them to a big international fruit company. And I thought, like, well, that's not really a lot. It was like 6 cents or something like that. And pineapple sells here for like $7. So, $6. So I was thinking, like, well, why is the producer getting like less than 1% of the total pie, right? So that's what got me curious about it. And actually, it was a really good time because my partner basically went headfirst into the hobby, around COVID times where people were getting stimulus money and then people were just at home all the time. This is when a lot of people got into plants, including my partner.
Oh, yeah.
And I stumbled across these Facebook trading groups where people were getting scammed. Their orders were getting stopped at the border. Just people were just losing money to get rare plants. And then I just thought to myself, there has to be some sort of like business to business solution that would allow local businesses to supply the plants that these people are taking all these risks to obtain. I was like, why is this happening? So I said, hey, I have the skills to create an online trading platform to facilitate the global trade of ornamental rare plants. I'm going to go for it. So I first started importing rare plants, bare root from Indonesia. did that for like a year and a half. And the market kind of crashed there, and basically I was at a crossroads of like, am I going to keep pursuing this, or am I going to just go back to the corporate life? Well, I said I'm going to keep pursuing this. So I actually worked at Domino's Pizza in the cheesesteak shop for around 6 months. Like
Hell yeah.
12 hours a day, and uh, kept applying to these what they're called accelerator programs, where basically it's a boot camp for startups, and then they'll invest a small portion into your company. You give up some ownership, but they basically help you get off the ground and get started. And fast forward a couple years later, now we have more than 7 different suppliers that have been consolidated into our platform, more than 4,000 plants available. We ship to all 50 states, and we're getting inquiries from all over the world too. So, the plan for us is to just continue to serve small businesses in America, kind of perfect the process. We're going to make it really easy for people to get plants, even if they don't have a lot of time. And then, next is Canada, Australia, and eventually the entire Earth.
That's awesome.
That's
yeah, just
awesome.
to see that and keep going after it. And when you did have the opportunity where you could have just walked away, you're just like, no, I'm gonna dig deeper and find another path that's gonna work to make this come to life. And it's awesome. And that you also keep thinking of the future. You're like, okay, and another step and another step. So I think that's awesome and innovative, and I really love to see people that are like that and go for it and have that drive. So good for you. That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look, it's challenging. And I was just going to mention that, like, our customers, they're all in the same boat in the sense that they're starting their own business, and it's kind of a competitive market, and there's not a lot of certainty as to how should I operate my business, like what is the sort of strategies I should adopt when doing this. And there's a lot of parallels with the startup space and the rare plant space. It's one of the reasons that we're excited to create like a knowledge base basically on our site, so that it could be a hub for people that are starting a business. They need to get plants, but they also need to know what plants to buy, like what to sell them at, like how much inventory should I have at any given time, like how do I know if I should buy 20 of these plants this time, or 40 of them, or 100 of them, right? Like what should I price my starting price at auction? Like all these questions that are not specifically about plant care that business owners need. We're really excited to set that up.
That's huge. I mean, even for me, like I'm relatively new with my business, and right now I focus primarily on selling like terrarium plants and stuff at expos. But even then, I'm like, what the hell do I have? What do I bring with me? What should I price it at? Like, it's like this whole like mental thing that I have to go through for every show to try and figure out like, what do I need? And there's not a whole lot of resources currently out there for that kind of thing.
I think it'd be great even for just going into that reptile realm and terrariums and whatever, and amphibians. It'd be nice if for someone like me who doesn't know what plants can go with what, you're like, I want to build a terrarium. What is going to be good with that animal and safe, and how do I also care for that plant? Like, it'd be awesome to like have a just one area where you could go for that, and you're not going to all these different segments trying to figure it out.
Because yes, the information exists, right? But the reality is, like I mentioned, it's competitive. If you can figure this out, why would you go out there and tell everyone about it? I mean, I totally understand this, right?
Right.
So that's why you need like a neutral third party or somebody that it's in their best interest to provide this type of knowledge. And yeah, I think I'm actually a great fit for that. So we're super excited to get out there. I just started to make some cool videos on Instagram, but really it's just all the stuff that I'm just saying during meetings, and like might as well just put it out there so you can watch it like multiple times if you want.
When it comes to your marketing for your stuff, how much time are you spending on that to be able to push your brand out? And I guess we'll start with that question.
Well, a lot, and a lot of it is and this is another thing I was going to make a video about too, is where look like the hard part about just starting a business by yourself is like it's not like you can just hire somebody and they're going to do a perfect job for you.
Right.
because they're just not as motivated as you. They don't own 100% of the company like you do. So
Right.
this is a really big challenge of, scaling or growing or whatever you want to call it, is basically just having uh, people with the same incentives and aligning all of the basically processes of your company. And that's, I think, the key to reducing how much time it takes to do marketing, because hey, look, it does take a long time to make content and that kind of stuff, but if you really just sat down and kind of planned it out and kind of thought about what do I want to, what's the message I want to get across, who's the target audience, how do I need to translate that message so that this target audience is going to be receptive to it, and what media is it going to get transmitted through, like what is the unique aspects of that media. And then, I mean, it is a lot of steps, but I think
Yeah.
if you just standardize it and kind of start small, like that would be my recommendations.
How long did it take you to figure out all those steps? like I actually need to do this, this, and this. Let's jump into, D and F before I was doing A, B, and C. So
Well, a very long time.
yeah.
Our Instagram was just didn't have really anything on it for like a year and a half. We tried a lot of different methods. Most of them was completely unsuccessful, and it's challenging because it's like, well, what do I post on social media to get business? There's
Right.
no easy answer to this, actually.
Right.
Because then if everybody did that, then it wouldn't actually work anymore. So what you need to do is need to be more engaging than 80% of the other people posting on Instagram selling whatever you're selling. Okay, well, what is that? Well, that's hard to define, actually. It's changing all the time. So
Because
yeah,
where
it's
people's
just takes a really long
personalities
time.
come into play. Like, do you
Oh,
have
for
the
sure.
personality to outshine and to like have that drive? How bad do you want it? Is really where that's going to come into play there.
Oh,
That's
for sure.
true.
And
Yeah.
and there's so many, like, I feel like plant influencers are popping up more and more. I feel like there's a new one like every week. Like it's a really competitive market, just even on like the social media front, to be able to get out there, and you have your big names, and you have to kind of find your way through that.
Well, money follows attention, right? If they don't know
Yeah.
you, they can't flow you, right? It's
That's
all about
right.
cash flow and being able to run a sustainable business that you're going to be able to like pay for your housing for on a regular basis, right? People take that for granted, like working a 9-to-5 job, like it's a pretty sweet gig. Like you're getting guaranteed money every 2 weeks. It doesn't matter how many plants you sell, or if big seller on Palm Street just flooded the market with that plant that you were hoping to get $30 for, and like now it's only $5. Okay, well, I can't pay my rent now. Like this is stuff that you need to like really be prepared for if you're going to go all into it. But yeah, think about how many plants you need to sell to replace, if you're working a corporate job with health insurance, it's a lot. So
yeah,
that's why it really comes down to how bad do you want it, because with plants, a lot of people are attracted to the idea of being a plant seller that's famous and making a lot of money. It's a very attractive profession, right? So it's just going to be more competition. You just need to try even harder.
Big Ten Exotics wants to know, how many different species do you deal with?
We have 4,000 different species listed on the platform now. Some of them are offered by multiple suppliers, but each supplier has its own kind of production methods and kind of unique aspects to it. So we try to give you a variety of suppliers that each have their own variety. And our goal is to actually go to every single country of Earth and find the top 10% of tissue culture wholesale suppliers, and then approach them and then onboard them to the platform, so that maybe like 1 year down the road, you'll have 20,000 varieties available.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how, I feel like in the last couple of years, especially, like, tissue culture has become a lot more popular on, the various apps like Palm Street, for example.
Yeah.
How has that impacted you?
Oh, well, let me just plug this in.
You're good. Take your time.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's obviously like a super huge benefit for us. I mean, this is what we do. But the hard part was doing this when it wasn't like this, right? Now, because you had to have started this back when it was like not popular. That's how you are in a position to benefit from the rise in popularity. So that's what's hard about rare plants or like any market where you're trying to create something new is that there's no guarantees it's going to work. So
Yeah,
we
it's a
sold our first
gamble.
tissue culture maybe like 2.5 years ago. But back then, people were saying like tissue culture is a scam, et cetera, et cetera. And I totally understand this. If I was a seller hybrid collector like that has a ton of mature aeroids that you're anticipating, like I could sell this all for $50,000. Okay, now people are getting tissue culture. Well, can I still sell it for $50,000? Like probably not. So I could see why I would be motivated to tell my customers that there's something inherently wrong with tissue culture because
Yeah.
it's going to devalue your current inventory. So like I totally understand. So that's probably why there's a lot of pushback with tissue culture up until this point. But I'll tell you that 10 months ago at Dallas PlantCon, there was like no tissue culture at all. We didn't even bring it actually. I mean, there was just like none. Maybe a couple of people just had it on their table, but at PlantCon Seattle, the tissue culture acclimation class sold out in less than 24 hours. And we've gotten
Oh wow.
inbound inquiries from all over the country with plant festival organizers who also want to host their own class. Because I think it's a no-brainer. Like I think this is tissue culture. That's kind of scaring people. Really, this is how to grow plants. That is the name of the class. You could name the class. And there's actually a picture of like in Florida, there's the Walt Disney World, and they have this section there, the Epcot, or like some futuristic sort of like mini park, and they actually have tissue culture there for children. So it's like designed for children to pick
that's so cool.
and then like follow the instructions. It's totally doable, and I think a lot of people are hesitant to try it because they want to be successful with it. This is totally understandable, but if once you learn, then you have that skill for the rest of your life.
Exactly. And it's nowhere near as like intimidating, I think, as it comes off as. Like it sounds very scientific and like very scary, but once you actually like get your hands in and like do it, it's just you're growing a plant, it's just really tiny.
Yes.
And you have to baby it a little bit in the beginning, and then once you acclimate it, it's ready to go. It's just like any other plant.
Yes. And I would even say like it's just like any other like sort of unfinished plant product where it's not a stabilized mature specimen. Like seeds or corms would fall under that. But compared to seeds or corms, like this tissue culture is more ready to go actually. And you can see it. So it's more transparent. And you'll be able to share it with your friends faster versus if you buy a corm, hey, I took a picture of my corm. Like nobody wants to really see this. You don't even know if it's going to be a plant yet. Nothing wrong with corms.
I was going to say, even with corms, and there's also no guarantee that you're going to get something that's variegated. There's still, that what if there, depending on what it is. But I mean, with tissue culture, you kind of get what you get, that those genetics are hopefully like a lot more stable. That's the whole point. So you know what your money is buying you.
Yes, it's it's just kind of, it's really funny how people are scared of it, and it's almost just like anything that was like taboo before. I remember when like selling a plant that you imported, selling it immediately, this was like a taboo practice. Back when it was all bare root plants, people would try to sell them off as fully stabilized plants. I think that kind of put a bad name on importing in general, and then combined with just tissue culture plants is already uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty around that. That's kind of what the headwinds, if you will, are like what's leading to some of the resistance of tissue culture, but it's only a matter of time. It's completely inevitable that everybody in houseplants will be aware of tissue culture and will likely try it at some point.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, it makes those rare and beautiful plants that would normally be out of like most people's financial reach, it makes them so much more accessible. And if you need to, like, you can maybe get 2 or 3 of those plants just in case you don't like trust yourself to, be successful in that acquisition process. And then you have a couple of, like it makes it so much more accessible for the everyday person.
Well,
Big Ten, they had one more question.
Yes.
Any of the plants, any of them aquarium safe, freshwater?
I'm not sure about aquariums in particular, but I do know that at PetSmart, they have tissue cultures for aquariums. We don't have any aquatic plants yet, but this is one of the next markets that we will enter when the time is right. But look,
Nice.
we're trying to get variegated monsteras and stabilized tissue culture at big box stores. So I'm calling it right now. So I'm going to look back at this podcast 12, 14, 18 months from now. But I think it's going to happen for sure. Like if you look at, the Hilton Carter Target collaboration, like big box stores, they want this type of stuff. And one of the big barriers is like how long it'll last in the bag before we can sell it. So
Yes. Yeah, they would have to kind of get those shipping times like really narrowed down to give it as much shelf life as possible. So I could definitely see that barrier. Oh, sorry, my cat is going to attempt to join our conversation here. So.
Oh, no problem.
So, do you vend a lot then?
So we don't vend a lot. Actually, when we were at Chicago, that was one of the few times. Like we basically are all online. We don't have any inventory. It's all imported into the United States, distributed, and immediately shipped to the customer. And we've been going to different plant events to network with plant sellers. We had a vendors only after hours. I don't know if you made it.
Oh, we were there. I won I won the giveaway.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, you're good.
Crazy night, but yeah.
Yeah, I was hurting on Sunday, to say the least.
Yeah, well, yeah, vendors out there, if you're watching, I'll catch you at the next one. But yeah, we don't vend a lot because, well, that's not our main business. Really, vending at PlantCon is more like a marketing and networking effort for us. And it was good to see the consumer demand like sort of materialize because we actually sold out of everything at our booth with maybe 2 or 3 hours to spare. And, it was a combination of things. One, we're really intentional about our inventory and what plants we're going to select. We wanted to basically sell through everything, right? This is what everyone wants. And we were successful in it. So I think we could add a lot of value to helping sellers pick their own assortments. And that's something that we're seeking to automate in part of the process, just like if you were to buy, stocks or anything like that. But yeah, the whole inventory selection is very important. So
Right.
Oh yeah.
it's extremely important because what people might underestimate is the cost of bringing things back with you. Because like with lizards and stuff, I mean, I'm not sure if you're bringing them back if you don't sell them. I'm not really sure what you guys are doing in that area, but yes, it's expensive and like there could have been another plant that you would have selected that would have sold, right? So what is that? And constantly trying to improve that selection is
Yeah, the reptiles, it's it's a lot of it when it comes to like the pet world versus somebody who's looking for, different projects for certain reasons. It really, a lot of it is like people like the white snakes or the yellow snakes, things like that. But it comes down to like just visually what people like. Sometimes I get like people are just like, I want a normal, I want a dark snake. Some people are like, I want a white and yellow one. You have a little bit of variety for everybody is always the hope. And but I will say, like, I definitely would vend a PlantCon again. Like the first day for me, I was like, man, I don't know, because honestly just nobody knew about the reptiles, and so I was only just giving information that the first day, and I was like, and I sold like a few corn snakes, but I was like, okay, for the amount I paid, I'm like, right now I'm just teaching, and which is, I love the education part, but for me, I was like, I don't know. And then Sunday, all these people came back, and I sold, close to 20 snakes that day. And I was like, okay, like I could do this again. Like this was really good now that people are like starting to come, and like we had lines to get into our booth, and people bought
it was really cool
just to be able to get into our booth on Sunday. And I'm like, okay, like awesome. Like I like how this is going, because the PlantCon, like the vending that show is totally different than the Reptile Expo. So it was like
totally different
learning
vibe
curve for sure.
Yes.
Of like how
I don't think
how
either
to
one of us were like fully prepared for the insanity that was.
So, but yeah, you just have to be able to like pivot and turn, and like it ended up getting done. And yeah, we were definitely exhausted for sure. But I'm like, I would vend every PlantCon if I could after that experience. So yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah, congratulations. I mean, it sounds like it went really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the hard part is not knowing how well it's going to do. So
Right.
Yeah.
it's extremely difficult. I mean, yeah, you're paying the vendor fee, but you have to bring all your inventory and stuff. It's a lot of time.
Right.
Mhm.
It's a lot of
Right.
potential benefit too, but I'm sure everybody is going through that. Like, well, if I bring it, are they going to come? Right now, I would say like if you were to do it again, and something that we're going to try to do is like leading up to the event, people are already like trying to decide what they're going to spend money on, and
Right.
Mhm.
if there's a way, like think about all the people that went to PlantCon that had the budget to buy a snake. Like, were they fully aware that you even had snakes when they walked in the door, or did they maybe like walk by it and then see it? Ideally, you should have like shown them an ad like 10 times before they even attended.
Most people had no idea.
No
Yeah,
clue.
it's hard. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things. Well, the thing is that
Yeah.
there's so many different stimuli at
Yes.
that show. It's like you easily forget stuff,
Right.
you know. But what you want is like, look, if you could put your list of what stuff you're gonna bring, just run ads on it, and then try to market it to the people that's already attending
Attending.
PlantCon.
Yes. Yes.
I would honestly go as far as, hey, like, you want to buy this, right? But you don't want to pay money if the event is in 1 month. Well, have you heard of this thing called Klarna before? Afterpay, right? You could pay it
Right.
off over 2 to 4 months. That way,
Right.
Guaranteed to get the inventory, attending the show, but you don't need to pay all at once. But people like the in-store shopping experience, and I think
Yeah.
For vendors that are kind of like concerned about if they're going to sell what they're bringing, like the one thing is just to get it in front of people before the show
Right.
actually starts.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's I played actually with that with this last expo, and I had some people that like came specifically to see a couple animals. I'm definitely very much like an in-person like seller. Like I just like I get that energy going. So I am very much working on my online presence to be better because that's where it's at. And yeah, and selling more online. Like I'm coming to the point now where I'm with some of the like stuff I'm gonna be hatching now. I need to put online. So
It's hard.
I'm working on it.
It's super hard because you're trying to list something that there's no barcodes on this, so you need to like have a way to quickly like list new stuff. I don't know if like you're putting pictures of it at each stage or what have you, but it's really challenging, the sort of listing of like organic items that have like varying sizes and grow in different
Yeah.
rates. But you're not alone in that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think that just like takes the time to get comfortable. There's things I'm comfortable doing, but yeah, it's just I can make silly videos sometimes and put them out because I'm just like I've got a silly personality. But yeah, like I know like I also got to get my professional stuff out there too. Like,
I mean, you don't necessarily. I mean, there's you don't need to change anything about how your online character
yes.
presents itself, and that's kind of like what you should be focusing on. Actually, all like the digital online stuff, like this is already done in other industries. What's really hard is to create like a persona or like a unique brand, personal brand that will attract people and will make them less focused on what the price of stuff is. And if
Yes.
you can cultivate that, like that's where the money's at.
I'm really like contemplating always like wearing a pink tutu and a pink bow. Like this started like a year ago with a song I did for somebody, and I put that on and did a little music video and posted it. And and then like like I put it with some other things. Then I wore it when we just did a bigger reptile expo at Tinley, and I wore it the whole time, and it was a big hit. And I was doing it
It
for
was.
another video I was trying to create. But I had people come to me just for that, and I'm like, man, maybe this is something I should like.
I
actually
feel like it's
just-
become like a part of your identity a little bit, in like as part of your professional front. It's just this ridiculous
Wear
pink
my
tutu.
pink- Yeah. Like I'm just ridiculous. Like I love to just be silly and have a good time.
Well,
Yeah.
the key is that it's hard for people to remember a lot of different, like let's just say plant sellers. Like if you were to say, name the top 40 top sellers on Palm Street, like how many people will be able to remember all of them? It's like musicians, right?
Yeah.
So really, like the key is that you got to get the like attention, interest, decision, action, right? So how you get the attention, the big sellers, they have 300 varieties, maybe like $1 starts. Not everyone can do that. So when you're just starting out, it's even more important that you focus on what makes you truly unique and what
Oh,
other
yeah.
sellers are not going to be able to copy. So whether that's the tutu or some other kind of personal brand, I would just think like,
Yeah, I
you know,
like to remix songs and put my own words to them.
hey,
It's
You
whatever
do a
fun.
works.
fantastic
If it
job with
works,
it.
as long as it converts, like
Yeah, it does.
run with it.
It's fun. So if have you ever watched Step Brothers?
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm Catalina Morph Mixer, so I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, like
100%.
that's just my first. Like I'm silly. So.
No, I like that, and
I mean,
yeah,
so many
yeah,
people take pictures just of my sign just because of the name. It's
Your sign is hilarious.
that's classic. Are you in like Southern California?
No, I'm in Illinois, but
Yeah.
but I just love the movie, and is actually like one of my best friends. I was horses before I was into reptiles, and so she was Prestige Sport Horses. That's how we came up with her name. So it was like Prestige for wide, and now I'm Catalina Morph Mixer.
Oh, well,
So we just
that's
quote it all the time.
that's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of pop culture references in plants, and I think
Yeah.
it's like makes it really unique. And yeah, like I would just like test that aspect. Maybe like run an ad with you wearing the tutu, and then run one without you wearing it. See if the one
Which
that with you
tests out
wearing it is
better?
gonna do
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
You-
Yeah, I've definitely been looking at the insights a little bit more, seeing what goes, with different things, what's running better, what at what time, and blah blah. Because yeah, you could sometimes go to like your AI apps, like Chat GTP, and it'll be like, oh, it's best to run it this time, and sometimes even Instagram, and then I find out like, actually, it seems I'm getting more views at this time than what you're actually telling me. So I don't know. I don't trust it all. I think you got to do your own work too. So
Oh yeah, it's challenging. Like for us, what I'm gonna be looking at now is we're focusing on short form video is the watch time. So
yeah,
like if I make a reel is 15 seconds, what percentage of the people watching it are gonna watch 100% of it or 80% of it? So
right.
if you think about going viral, it's not something that I mean, I guess you could say like I'm gonna do this, but really, like what is going viral? It's really just a lot of people sharing it. Like, well,
Right.
what do you need to do to share it? Well, I need to watch it first of all, so that's the first thing. Like, if we're not even getting 1-2 seconds of attention, like it's not gonna work. So that way, I know okay, I need to fix the hook
Right.
aspect of the video. Okay, now how many people are watching like 80% of it, right? And then how many people are sharing it and commenting on it? And if you could just kind of nail that down and expand on whatever is engaging for people. Um, we don't need to get like a billion views to get successful, especially um, because you can get so many views on Instagram if you play your cards right.
Right. 100%. I absolutely believe it. Even like TikTok, I play around a little bit with that. I'm trying to be better about posting there as well. But yeah, sometimes like there's things that like I can get thousands of views on, and sometimes it's like okay, got 2 views. So it's like it's always trying to look and see what is performing well, and but you have to want to do that, and you have to want to make it better and make your business brand everything better and be successful. So if you don't have the drive to take the time to do that, then it's not going to get better. You're just going to stay in the same cycle.
I think most people obviously like if you're starting a plant business, there's some drive there, right? So I think most people have that base kind of desire to be successful and like want to work hard. But I think what's lacking is sort of like, okay, I'm a plant seller. How do I increase my social media presence in rare plants in 2026 so that I can increase my sales, right? And the thing about Instagram is, it's like a party, right? Nobody wants to be sold stuff all the time. Like, it's not a catalog of your inventory. So that's one of the things that we're kind of straying away from and doing more value-added stuff, which is basically stuff that is not related to like our value proposition or like why you should buy from us directly, right? But more like tangentially, but still engaging and like aesthetic enough to be presented on Instagram. So like, uh, for example, like the approach that we're doing now is thinking, so who's our target audience? Plant sellers and vendors on Instagram. Now, what is something that they want to know that I know that I could confidently communicate to them in like a friendly, kind of approachable way. So we start with like, hey, how do I plan my show? I'm going to my first plant show in 2 months. Like, what do I need to do to maximize my chances of success? Like, this is something where, like, basically giving free advice, if you want to call it that, but uh, like that's something that may not even work. Actually, I might take a lot of time to plan all these things out, and it might not even do anything at all. Actually, and that's kind of
Right.
that's the beauty of it, right? And that's
Right.
what people, when they see the video, subconsciously they understand that. Um, yeah, it's basically like the subconscious, like, okay, this guy cares so much about us as an audience that he's doing stuff that I could even take his advice and use it to buy from another wholesale supplier. Like, you have to kind
Oh, for
of
sure.
do that type of stuff. But
Right.
that enough, it signals the confidence that, you understand your value and how you're able to help holistically with businesses. So yeah, it's hard to kind of nail down as like exact step-by-step process, but that's what we're doing in our business.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of like it's, I think, a mix of, some formulas that you can put together, but also just kind of a guessing game and just seeing, hey, what's going to stick. And that's kind of the fun part about all of it, is just trying to figure out what it is that's going to be most effective.
And you can't be scared to fail. Like, you're gonna fail. Some
Yes.
things, like, I have millions of ideas going out all the time. Some are great, some are not so great. Some have worked wonderfully, and some not so great. Like, but you just got to keep going. And because if you don't, you just get stuck. Your mindset's not gonna be great. Just like, what do you want for your life? And I'm not just even just talking business. Like, sometimes you just got to push through things in life and just not get stuck in the mentality of things. And yeah, it's your perspective. Your perspective can change what you're doing and your outcome on things.
Is mind over matter, right? Perception is
Yeah.
reality. Like,
Hell
the
yeah.
attitude is going to get you latitude. I mean, look, it's like anything, right?
Yeah.
Emotion
Exactly.
creates emotion, right? Like, if you stop, actually, you're going to become less competitive, and you'll probably get more disgruntled, if you will, because you're basically going to just stop trying, and then you're going to fall further behind. Like, and that's
Right.
fine, right? But if your goal is like, I want to do this, then yeah, at the
You
end
gotta
of the
work
day,
for it.
yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah. You gotta sometimes block out other noise, and you gotta put your view on there, and that's what you gotta go for, and just keep going for it. And
Yeah.
adjust along the way.
For
That's
sure.
right.
I think part of it is just getting past that like mental hurdle of just like, well, what if I put out crap? Like, what if it just doesn't look very good? You have to get rid of like that self-talk that's scaring you, putting up that kind of wall that you have to jump over. And I think that's probably the scariest part for a lot of smaller businesses.
Well,
right.
if it doesn't take off, it's fine because nobody saw it.
Right.
So,
Right.
it doesn't even
Right.
matter.
Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? No one saw it.
Exactly. That's just yeah, I don't know. I guess you just got to keep trying. Just keep trying to put it out there. Keep your eye on the prize, and yeah. So, do you have
Well,
any of your?
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I think it's easy to, because I say a lot of this stuff to myself, and like I have to deal with stuff all the time too. But a lot of those things, it's like, it kind of falls short with like, okay, like what exactly, how can I just stop thinking about it, right? And I think I don't have an easy answer to this, but I think one answer is having a peer group of other like-minded business owners in your same position. This is challenging, man, because it's like rapping or anything like that. What if one guy blows up? Now, but that
Yeah.
happens everywhere, right? Like, um, just having a sounding board that is not like an AI
Yes.
is a really
Yeah.
good idea.
Having people are honest with you and not just telling you what you want to hear.
Well, that
Yeah.
might be challenging when you're doing the peer groups because everyone wants to stay friendly. No one's going to be like, yeah, like your marketing approach is complete. Like, you got to redo the whole
That
thing.
was crap. Yeah.
Because then it's
This
going to
is
stop.
garbage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's where I think people have to be open to the constructive criticism too. Like, I want people to tell me, like, because I want my product to be better. So, like, If there's something to be like, man, okay, I think it's a little off this or that, or like, I want to know because most times then I make a better product because of it. So I always want people that around me I know that actually support me, who are being honest with me, and they also want to see me do well and same with me. I want them the same for them. I always find it's very important to have people like that around you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, but nothing good comes easy. So
That's right.
actually, the challenges and stuff. Obviously there's different perspectives, but yeah, if it was easy, everyone would actually be doing it. It's hard because there's stuff that you need to deal with in any business, whether it's reptiles or plants, and you could be like, yeah, this challenge sucks, like I don't want to do this anymore, or you could be like, yay, like this is a challenge that I'm open to working through, and it just
Yes.
means that I'm going to be one of the few that was so dedicated that we made it to the other side. So I don't
Right.
know if you
Yes.
saw the Plants and Drawers video about the grindification of
Yes.
houseplants.
Yes.
um,
Yes.
well, some people be like, I don't want to grind. Some people are like, I want to
Yeah.
grind. I'm down actually, and
Yep.
I would prefer if there was only grinders out here, because the reality is, it's just like with any market. And uh, back to like my background in economics, like one of the stories that we always tell is the tulip bubble. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of it, but it was the first ever financial bubble on Earth. And in the Netherlands, what happened is that tulips are very mainstream, they're very popular, but somebody imported a variegated tulip into the Netherlands, and it created a frenzy basically. And what happened is that normal everyday people became tulip resellers, and the price of these variegated tulips basically skyrocketed and eventually crashed. And it was the first time in recorded history where there was a bubble of that nature. So basically, the same thing is always going to happen. Um, it's inevitable, and it's just going to filter out the people who are not that dedicated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we are going to switch gears here. Are you ready to play a game?
Let's do it.
Cool. Okay. So we are going to play a round of Would You Rather
Let's
Plant
go.
Importer Edition.
Okay.
So let's see what we got here. All right. Would you rather receive a shipment where everything is healthy but half of the labels fell off? Or everything is perfectly labeled but half of it looks a little questionable?
Oh, the labels fell off. We could always put them
Yeah?
back on. Um, and yes, the labels fell off.
Okay. All right, let's see here. Would you rather spend an entire day deflasking tissue cultures or spend an entire day packing orders?
Packing orders for sure.
I don't blame you. I would probably choose that too. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Would you rather acclimate 500 tissue cultures at once or unpack 500 established plants after a 3-day shipping delay?
Probably acclimate 500 dishwashers at once.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So let's see here. These are more so for, just being a plant lover and keeper in general. So would you rather repot one giant ass monstera or repot 100 2-inch plants?
One giant ass monstera.
Yeah. I've got my giant ass monstera right behind me. That definitely needs a repot, and I've been avoiding it all summer.
Hey, you got to do it.
Right? I know. I've got a few different ones that are like begging me to be repotted. I'm like, I'll get to it. I promise. All right, let's see. Oh, I had one that was really good. Would you rather deal with a huge fungus gnat infestation or find mealies on your one favorite plant?
Probably the fungus infestation. I guess
Really?
that way it's distributed equally, and I won't be focusing on how the one plant that I really liked fell ill.
Man, I feel like I would go for the mealy. I don't know. I feel like if it's on one plant, I can just like douse that thing in rubbing alcohol like every couple days and like cross your fingers. Fungus gnats are like the bane of my existence. I
Mhm.
hate them.
Well, the thing about tissue culture is, the reason why we focus on the product is that we did bare root before. There was all types of stuff on it, and we actually did a freedom of information request from USDA to kind of see how many like infected plants were shipped into the United States. Like it's pretty disgusting. It's a lot, and it's happening all the time. No, but tissue culture has never had an issue. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
that's why
yeah.
you're using them in aquariums and terrariums. It's the gold standard, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've never had that problem with any tissue cultures that I've purchased or some that like I've actually done on my own. I have a little tiny lab set up at home, so I do them occasionally on my own. So I've never really had that issue. It more so comes from like my little jungle that I have here that
Wow.
likes
Yeah.
to give me my fungus gnats. All right, let's see here. Got a whole list. Hang on. Would you rather give up philodendrons forever or anthuriums forever?
Philodendrons.
Yeah? I think I'd be the opposite. Anthuriums and I don't get along.
Well, yeah, that's actually how we got started. I remember like Equigenera was one of the big players back when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing a lot of bare root anthuriums from Ecuador, and I think those have a lot of mainstream potential. Basically the kind of dark anthuriums. I'm sure you've seen like
Yes.
Doc Walk and that kind of stuff, but
Oh, yes.
like even non-collectors like can see the appeal of it. I think it's a really good plant just in general to kind of help spearhead these rare plants get into the mainstream.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be cool to start seeing some of those really nice, beautiful dark ones kind of getting out there. That'll be really, really cool. It'll be very cool. That makes me wonder, what do you think like the next big plant is going to be for tissue culture?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's hard to tell, but we can kind of see what's happening where the laboratories will typically start off a plant really high, either because they want to obviously sell it while it's hot, but a lot of the plants do drop in price quickly. So if
Yeah.
you're a plant seller thinking about what is kind of the next big plant that I should focus on that's going to help me like grow my audience, I would think I would start monitoring the wholesale pricing for the variegated plants that you're interested in, and then once the price drops to an attractive enough level, like that's when you should go for it, because the consumers may not have had time to adjust and kind of think, oh, okay, well that plant is like 30% less now. So
Yeah.
right when that plant drops within the range of, okay, this is reasonable for me to buy wholesale, you should go for it while the customer is still anchored up at that really high price that they've seen for the past year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
yeah, it's less about kind of selecting any given plant, but just having a process for selecting those kind of higher end, like foot traffic creating plants to kind of headline the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, let's see. I think I've got like a couple of spicier would you rathers. Let's see what we got here. Would you rather have your browser history be exposed or your total lifetime plant spend?
Probably the the plant spend, I guess. Yeah, the plant spend.
That's a tough one.
So yeah, I'll go with the plant spend for that one.
Fair choice. Fair choice. All right, let's see. I think that does it for the would you rather. So thank you for playing along.
So we just
And we
have
do-
one more thing. One
course.
more
We do
thing.
have one more thing. This is a tradition on this show. And I know that this has been a little more of a professionally kind of geared kind of segment, but we do have this tradition. And it's something where at the end of like our season, we will put a compilation together of everyone who has done this. So
Cool.
the task is you have to say in your sexiest after hours voice, welcome to the Morph and Ivy Collective After Dark. You think you can do it?
Yes. Can I see an example? Do you have an example for me? Like a
Oh,
late
God,
night
I
radio
don't-
DJ, right?
Oh yeah, let's hear you. I've done this plenty.
Yeah.
Let's hear it, Becky. Let's hear.
Oh, God.
Yeah, let's hear you go
Becky.
first.
Nope. I won't do it. No, Ashley, you're a pro.
That's why you have to practice. You're stepping out of your
I-
comfort zone.
What is it again?
You'll get.
What is
So
it?
just do welcome to the Morph and Ivy Collective After Dark.
Welcome to the Morph and Ivy Collective After Dark.
There you go. Nice.
Ooh, good job. Great job.
So you guys, you just gotta go for it. Like nothing bad's gonna
Alright.
happen.
All right, so now it's Becky's turn.
Welcome to the Morph and Ivy Collective After Dark.
See, you did it. Good job.
That's the best I got.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate it. I think everybody that did come out and watch and leave some comments, appreciate that very much. And yeah, I think we're about probably ready to start heading to bed soon.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. Hey, look, if you're out there, is it cool if I share a coupon code for your guys'
Heck
audience?
yeah.
That
Yeah,
use?
please do.
So, hold on, give me 1 second.
Of course, he's California. He's like 2 hours ahead of us.
I know. I was gonna say it's still
Behind,
light and
behind.
bright out over there. It's like bedtime here.
So we'll set this up. We'll give you $100 off any order.
Oh, heck yeah. Awesome.
So you could share with your audience. We'd love to connect with you guys and obviously supply your tissue cultures. But if you just have questions, that's cool too.
Awesome.
But yeah, thanks guys for having me on the show. Really appreciate the opportunity and happy to be back at any time.
Awesome. Well,
That's
thank you so
awesome.
much. That's
Thank
really
you
generous.
very much. That is.
yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
All right.
Oh, I put it in the chat, so if you want to share it, go ahead.
Perfect. All right.
It's in the private
Well
chat.
then, oh yeah, it might be. Oh, I see it. Cool. Well, Miss Ashley, I did look everywhere, and I don't have an end live button.
I'm
So
trying to teach her how to do this. On the
It's-
all the way up top on the right side, it doesn't say end stream for you.
no, it just says stream this to your audience because I think I'm listed as like a guest as well. I don't know. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh.
How could you not know how to? It's like it's all good, right? It's hey.
I don't know.
But thanks guys for having me on. I
Thank you
appreciate it.
so
We'll touch base
much.
after. Have a great rest of
Cool.
your evening. Take
All
care, everybody.
right.
Put that code in the thing. All right. Thank you guys. Talk to you later.
Sweet.
It's
Bye.
gonna end eventually here.